Hey, peace, world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Gonna get into some bite down boxing slash entertainment because of this brand new documentary that aired on Showtime. I believe for the first time last night. Now you can catch it on demand on Showtime. But it's Macho, the Hector Camacho story. And it's 90 minutes long. I believe the producer, director, and everything is a cat named Eric Drath. I think is his last name, Eric Drath, Drath, and it's crazy because I watched a lot of. I was watching boxing when a lot of this stuff was going on, and really didn't have any idea about the demons, as they put it several times on the show, on the documentary, the demons of Hector Camacho. Um, the one thing about it is that I don't know if for anybody who has family members who are substance or drug abusers or drug users, and decades long worth of abuse, it's a pretty heart wrenching story. And then on the other hand, the game took this mother Maria, who was along for the whole ride and just was in Puerto Rico last year in 2019 when they told her that when the authorities, somebody at the FBI, told her that they knew who killed him, but there's yet to be any conviction or arrest, as well as his partner Pantelis was the cat's name, his driver, chauffeured while down in Bayamon, Puerto Rico. He was killed last year, shot in the face. So a lot to unpack on this documentary. I would suggest just watching it. A couple of things, man, is he fought everybody. He fought Leonard, Trinidad, De La Hoya, Duran, Chavez, Rosario, Pazienza, Mancini. He finished his career 79, 6-3 with 38 knockouts. And I just, and looking at the energy from the crowd when they thought that Mancini won the fight, the crowd was throwing stuff in the ring. Uh, Seeing Don King and his inner circle in the background here and there throughout the documentary. Um, just historic. But to watch the documentary starts with the mother Maria, and like I said, man, it's crazy that to look at 79, 6-3, everything that he did in his career, and it all ends with her in this small apartment in New York City, and that these people, this small family, I think he has three sisters, surviving sisters. This small family went to the top of the boxing world for several years. He didn't have his last fight until 2010. But they went to the top of the boxing world, and there's really nothing to show for it in a lot of ways. Who even knows what kind of memorabilia the family has? Any of the outfits, the ring of the ring attire that he for his walkouts and whatnot. Um, so I was in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know, end of 2018 maybe. Maybe it was early 2019. I can't remember. But I was out there for a fight in Phoenix, and I sat next to me and Gabe Rosado. Ended up sitting next to each other in the media area, and we talked. And he told me I did a little interview as we were sitting there watching the fights, but he told me he said, and it's probably been heard before, but I had never heard. It's probably been said before, and others may be well aware of it, but I hadn't heard it at the time. And he said, "Man, boxing it's the sport of poor people. It's the game of poor people." And that's just what I've carried with me as I've been covering the sport and talking about it here and on Bite Down Boxing. And it's how I approach everything that I say on social media or on here about boxing and boxers. I'm so respectful of these cats and so empathetic to the life that they lead and the sacrifices that they make. And this young dude, we didn't hear anything about education. He was in jail. He was at Rikers at like 17 years old after stealing a car. He comes home. He tells his mother he's getting ready to go in the bathroom and do something, and tells her, "Don't, whatever you do, don't come in here." And here it is. It's this teenager that is introduced, well, not introduced, he had been using from what we understand. But he goes on and embarks on his career in boxing and becomes successful, climbs to the top of the sport, wins multiple championships, becomes the main event of these big cards and whatnot. And the entire time, he's battling substance abuse, a cocaine addiction. And that's just a hell of a life. And it was several times on the documentary where somebody said, he was never the same again. He would never be the same again after he was beat up pretty good by Edwin Rosario, who was the first guy who like really rocked him and beat him up in a fight, but he got the decision. Mancini, roughed him up pretty good. They stood and traded a little bit. He was battling, with the perception of fans who thought he didn't, he was too cautious in fighting. Then he goes and fights Chavez. Just a hell of a tale, man. A hell of a tale. Did it all. But like I said, through all of this, he couldn't get out of his own way with these drugs. And he married his wife, Amy. Like I said, his mom is involved, his three sisters. He had the cars, and all of this stuff, man. And he cried on camera, in post-fight interviews and whatnot, and was just going through it. All while being one of the world's baddest men in the ring. And the one thing that he told his friend Rudy Gonzalez on there that was at the end of his run, when they mentioned that they were trying to make a fight, a $7 million fight for him and Roy Jones, for him to face Roy Jones Jr., who was also at the end of his run. And he went to go get in shape and was a few weeks into camp and whatnot. And he just told him, like, "Hey, man, I don't want to do this, man. I just want to get high." And he told his friend Rudy Gonzalez, who had been his friend and bodyguard his whole career, his friend said, Gonzalez said, "Man, you're a champ. You can do this. You can go get this money, get this fight, and be, find some peace and set yourself up." And he said, "Man, yeah, I'm a champ, but but first I'm a junkie." And that's interesting that he would be this forthright, about it, and characterize himself in that manner. And then, as well as, he also told his wife Amy, the ex-wife, when she asked him about drugs and wanted to leave him and whatnot, and said that it was over and divorced him, he said that I like it, I love it. He said, "You met me like this, and I'm going to stay like this." And she had to go on and do what she had to do. Quick side note, entertainment topic: if you haven't checked out that Hillbilly Elegy on Netflix, it's another situation about drugs, substance abuse in a family, wrecking a family. Check that out. Very good movie with Amy Adams and Glenn Close. But anyway, to finish off this video, man, just check it out. I don't know if boxing makes them like this anymore. That's what I'm saying with some of these young cats, man, that sit up and talk and throw the money around and do all, they box on the gram and everything, and you just sitting around like, when are any of these guys gonna fight somebody? When are a lot of these, I don't want to mention any names, but when are a lot of these guys gonna fight anybody? Uh, you know, and not just for themselves, but for the game to be healthy. Like I said, to see the crowds, they sold 19. Him and Mancini, I believe, sold 19,000 tickets. When will this game give people a reason to come back and a reason to care again? And I don't think we're always getting that. But in the end, it's almost like watching Unsung, man. And it's, you give this kid from Spanish Harlem, from really humble, really meager beginnings, poverty. He fights his way up out of that. He finds himself. He becomes a champion. Loses it all, and it's like, again and again and again. Why does that have to be the story? Even like I said, with Unsung on TV1, with all the R&B groups and some rappers that they did, why does it always have to end that way for people of color, and then people who rise out of poverty? Like, why is that? Why is this? It's such a common conclusion to all of these unbelievable, unimaginable rags to riches tales? Why do they have to always have this type of conclusion? And then to make it even worse, in his case, he goes and ends his life, spends his last days down in Puerto Rico in Bayamon, and here's this 50-year-old man, running around with strip clubs and drugs, guns, and a younger girlfriend and everything. He has his 2 sons. He has his ex-wife, who was with him through thick and thin, but they're all in America and in New York. And he gets caught up in something and gets gunned down, out in the streets. And there's there's been no justice for it. And then it goes back to the mom who, the family says 7 years later, she just hopes to not leave this world without knowing and not seeing justice play out for her son. So just a very touching documentary, man. And that's, like I said, when we see some of these guys, a Jared Hurd, the Conwell kid, I know his family is really involved in his life. His dad, Jared Hurd's dad and mom, Charles Conwell's mother and father. It's just very rare that many of these guys have good family structures and support systems behind them and whatnot. Floyd didn't have that great support system, but he didn't have those types of demons that undermined 25 years of hard work and dedication. So anyway, I'm rambling on. Just check it out. Macho, the Hector Camacho story. That's boxing. My name is Wood. Like I said, if you like the way anything was discussed, previewed, my 2 cents on the matter, hit that like button. Consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. Bite down boxing. Don't let them count you out. Pay me no mind. Sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Enjoy the pay-per-view tonight for those of you that are supporting the Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. Peace.